Brooklyn at? Where Brooklyn at? Where Brooklyn at? Where Brooklyn at? Hey yo!
I
Yes. And we are back again in the building, of course. Welcome to We Brooklyn, another edition, second edition. All right, well, we're a little hood, but we're educated and elevated. And of course, we're a little bit of ratchet. Just a little bit. All right. Okay, Brooklynites, what's really good?
What's up? What's good?
It's good.
How y'all
Getting
doing?
warm.
I'm doing
We
good.
doing
so
good.
far.
I'm
So
doing
far,
real
so
good. It's warm. I'm happy it's getting warm outside.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, I don't want it to get too warm. I ain't gonna hold you.
yo, as you
I'm-
always
What? Come
talking
on, don't
about
be
heat.
I ain't
You
gonna
ain't get
lie.
you ain't get over that heat yet. It ain't even too hot
Nah, so I need 77, a top 79.
yet.
Once
But we
that
ain't even there yet.
85 and humidity kick in,
What kind of black people are you, man?
I
Yeah,
mean,
what kind of black people are you, man?
I'm a Brooklyn black person. Tired of all these damn hot ass summers. Like the humidity is the shit that killed me. Damn, I can't take it.
S, you need that vitamin D. You got melanin, boo.
Whoa,
I'm
whoa,
just saying.
hey, yo.
You
I need to
can do
get
this.
that.
You can do this. I just had my time.
Oh man.
I like it when it's hot. I like it when it's real hot. You know, sweating, tripping everywhere. Ooh.
Listen,
Listen, you gotta drink a
We
lot
still
of water.
talking
You
about the
can't be.
weather. We still talking about the weather.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just saying, you got to drink a lot of water. If you drink a lot of water, your sweat is not going to be all salty or whatever. You're just going to be dripping more water, you know? You got to detox the body. Anyway, that's going to be a whole nother show.
You know what it is?
All right.
Maybe because y'all don't really, y'all. I don't know if y'all work. Have you ever worked in the sun? Like,
I am so I work with children in the sun during intense summer camp months. All right, 12 hours, long hours, running behind kids. All right, planning
all
things.
right.
It be hot. It be hot. You get
I
the
give
best.
you that.
I don't work outside in the summer.
You know, some of us have that privilege. Like I wish, you know. All right, so you ready to get into these topics?
Let's go.
All right, Brooklynites, here we go. So, a Brooklyn NYPD officer unfortunately was shot 3 times last week, Tuesday, but he was able to survive due to his bulletproof vest. Okay. Apparently, this happened in the Bed-Stuy, Bushwick area. He overall was shot 5 times. And the suspect from earlier was in an earlier shootout and chase that started in Bushwick. The officer, he was shot 3 times in the back, which he was able to survive that. He was also shot in his butt once and also in his leg. He's currently still in the hospital, expected to make a full recovery. And the suspect was shot once in the leg. He was also in the hospital and he is also expected. So, what do you think?
I mean, so was the suspect shot by other officers? Was he shot by the officer that got shot?
Another officer. He was not shot by the officer that he shot allegedly.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, what can you say about this? It's sad, unfortunate. You know, it's a crime. Good thing the officer had on his vest. You know, I think it goes to show that, maybe having your vest on is a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
I would think so when you're in a shootout.
Right.
And I mean, I don't know what the situation was earlier and what that shootout was about, what that particular altercation was about. But I mean, at the end of the day, none of us want to see crime or want to see any kind of shootouts, any kind of things in Brooklyn. You know what I mean? It makes it dangerous for everybody. So, so that's all I really have to say about it. I mean, hopefully everyone makes a full recovery. And I guess the person who did the shooting, who shot the officers, be brought to justice.
Yeah.
So?
I don't know. Crazy part is that I really don't. I guess because he survived, it's like, okay,
Yeah.
that's your job, right? I mean, it's, to me, it's kind of like par for the course. I don't know. I know that's a bad thing to say, but I'm only really saying that because he survived. Like, if he didn't survive,
Mhm.
I'd probably have a whole different tone. But you know, that's the game. That's the job. You chase the bad guys. The bad guys may have guns. You get in the shootout. You know, bang bang. It's the same shit we played as kids, but you know, and in the more realistic, real life form. So
Mhm.
um, cops are revered. Cops, it's a good look when you a cop and you pull up and the ladies love it, but this is why, because it's dangerous. I don't know. I don't really have no. What was the cop? Was he black, white? Not that that's going to sway me either way, but I just want to know.
I believe, you know what? I'm not even gonna act like I know. I'm gonna say I don't know. I believe he was of Latin descent, though.
Okay. Well, yeah, like I said, no harm, no foul. He's going to be a hero. It's a great story for him. You know, uh, it's part of what makes cops, a prestigious position.
Mhm.
It's the danger of it all. It's the position and everybody
Your phone went on mute.
Y'all can hear me? Cause I
came through. Okay.
Yeah, you
All
went
right,
on
so
mute.
I went on mute for a second. Yeah. So
Mhm.
everybody loves the dangerous guy. So, you know, great story for him. I mean, he can show the bullet wounds. You know, he can show the little ass shot when he get ready. I mean, it's a great story. You know what I'm saying?
Did you say the little
Ass
ass
shot.
shot?
I thought he got an ass shot. He didn't get no
I
ass
mean, he
shot.
got shot in his buttocks. Yes, he did.
Oh yeah, he got it. Yeah. So when he stripped down and Shorty is checking him out, she like, what's that? And like, yeah, a couple of years ago, shit got dangerous for me. I shot the guy. I mean, he got a story. It's a great situation if
Ooh.
everybody lived.
Ooh. Ooh.
You know
You
what I'm
saying the
saying?
ass shot is a badge of honor, S?
Yo, it's a badge of honor for these chicks now. Now he got his own version.
All right.
Everybody getting ass shots.
Well,
I mean, and one another, that is a good play on words, good sir. That is a good play on words. I'm just sad that this situation happened, and that's all I'm going to say about it, because there's a lot on either side, but to be it as it may, I just hope
Hmm.
that both parties recover and learn from these situations. Okay.
What was the guy being accosted for, chased for? The guy
I don't
that
know.
that got
Apparently, there was
oh,
another beef that started earlier in the day with the same suspect and other individuals, or possibly with the cops, and it was like a shootout and a chase. And then I guess he got to Bed Stuy, and that's where it was like a standoff between him and the police, and what happened.
got you. Okay, all right.
Okay, next to this news, I'm pretty sure you're going to be excited about this. From New York all the way to California, a school in Piedmont, California district started a group for white students that were affected by the DERRICK CHUVEN case. If anybody is not familiar with that, that is the police officer that had his knee on George Floyd's neck. Okay. So far, this has received backlash from the students, and the school has stated that it was inappropriate wording and a poor choice of words. What are your thoughts?
so let me get this straight. Wasn't it that they had a support group they were doing a support group like after the verdict or whatever, and it was like for Black students and for non-Black students, and then people were offended that they were having a support group for non-Black students. Wasn't that the Is
Yes,
that
that
the
was the premise behind why they started the support group for white only students. It was because of the situations that were happening with Black Lives Matter, and like the fallback from that, and just how it affected teens overall between that and the quarantine, and COVID, and that whole experience, and on top of it, the economical situations that come with being a person of color or a person or my considered a minority, going through these escalated situations. So with that being said, yeah, they started support groups within the school, but it didn't exclude other students. I think it just mostly focused on issues that, dealt with students of color.
okay?
Mm-hmm.
So my understanding of it, and I'm not as thorough in terms of knowing the ins and outs altogether, but my understanding was they started a support group. Um, it was for, I don't know if it's two separate support groups, one for children or young people of color, Black young people, and then people non-Black young people, but they said like support group for everybody. And I understood that the students and other people felt like, why are you going to do a support group for white kids when nothing happened to white people, right? Like the whole
Yeah.
situation is the joy, right? And then the school uh, retracted and said they didn't explain it properly, that they were having a support group and they were doing a group for non-Black students to show them how to be like allies to people in the community, in Black communities and in other minority communities. And it was more like showing them about, situations going on, how you can be an ally for those communities. But when
Yes.
it was announced like a support group for everybody. So that's my understanding of it.
Mm. Mm.
Yes, that would be correct. That is why the school said that it was a poor choice of wording and
Mm-hmm.
bad wording. Period.
Okay.
Mm.
S.
So I don't know. They had a support group for whites only. I guess that right there that's a triggering as well. These I don't know. You start having white support only groups. You know, you know what though? I kind of figured that at some point it was going to kind of come to this because we have our groups, right? We got our groups, and our groups is basically formed because we feel like we need some sort of organization to help support us through the bullshit that we go through in this country.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but you know, groups position you in a certain in power. So
Mm-hmm.
as that starts to happen more and more often, the opposite is going to happen, which is that they're going to start feeling like, all right, well, we have our group, and not for nothing, Trump has really he created a whole new climate where people don't feel no way about being on some white shit. Like they don't. It's no longer like a shame to it. It's just like this proud to be, under the umbrella of American. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, uh, and I do think that Black people do need to be a little bit careful when it comes to uh being prejudiced and racist, because it's this idea that Black people can't be racist.
You can't.
And yeah, and I don't agree with that. First of all, I think it's bad to think that, because you basically saying you don't have the power, but the power is all in the numbers. If you got the numbers, you can be racist. You can, if you got the majority in any group situation, you can definitely be ostracizing. You can be uh you can
You can
treat other
separate
groups
yourself.
bad. Yeah, you can you can get on your elite shit. I've seen it happen a lot of different times, not even like outside of the race, but just outside of like skin color. You know what I'm saying? I've seen it happen where, you know, like where I grew up at in the projects, most of us was brown skin, dark skin, you know what I'm saying? But it was, yeah, and you know, and light skin, but it was a couple of dudes that was very, very light and had the curly hair. And you know, they had other ethnicities, you know, in them. So they would get called white boy and yo, you ain't black, and like niggas got treated bad. And you don't, people don't think that they can be racist, but you can. It's just about the power and the position that you hold in a particular group. And yeah, as an overall in this country, no. But when you start breaking things down to groups and schools and sections and neighborhoods, yes, you can. I believe that. And if they start to feel as if, like, what kind of school was this? Was this a majority black school? Was it like half and half? Because you can't
We're
start
not
to feel
sure. They didn't
ostracized.
really go into specifics. The only thing they really stated was it was a school from the Piedmont, California district, and that it was
Okay.
a high school. So, you know.
All right.
I mean,
That would be whack if they was majority white. That would be some bullshit. But if they was majority black, I could see where niggas like, yo, we need a
well,
little
it's
group.
most likely not majority white because in school communities, black people, if white people are in the schools, black people are, if you're trying to have a group of white people, most likely it's a school where it's white majority that have black people. You usually don't find schools in black neighborhoods that have a whole bunch of white people.
All right, right.
You know what I mean?
So
Like it's
a black
usually,
neighborhood?
I don't know if it's a black neighborhood or it's just a school. You know how sometimes you're in communities where it might be like, you know, maybe mixed communities, or maybe maybe you have a community where, you know, it's two sides of the track kind of thing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And you know, but in my small scheme of life, I've never seen like schools that were majority black that had a lot of white students that then you would need to do like a group. You know what I mean? Like you would see more like a white school that black people are trying to get into, or they're crossing their you know, where they live to go to that school, or you have some people in that community that can go to school because they're zoned to that school, you know. Right. So I would think if they're starting a group, and if it's like, you know, I would think maybe it's more like, maybe it's a half and half, or it's a little bit more you know, white students, because they're talking about being allies to black students and people of color.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Right,
so I would think that, you know, it must be either on the more majority of white, or at least a 50-50 kind of situation. Right. But you know, by the way the country is set up, you don't find schools where you're gonna have a majority of black people and many white. You're like, that's the part, like that's like the institutionalized racism kind of situation. Right. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, you gonna find white people, you gonna find black people. That's you know what I'm saying? Yeah, not on, you know, those are where, you know, you can see some of the, you know, systematic racism and some of the other stuff that's going around. Yeah.
And why is that? That is what I'm saying. Like, I think you could learn a lot from those situations if it was to be like that. But you're right, it's hardly ever like that.
You know what the problem is? I mean, at the end of the day, I don't know. It could be a 50-50 shot, because I mean, this is Piedmont, California, and it's not like that is a rural area of California, really, you know. But who knows? It's not like we live out there. We all the way here on the East Coast, so times could have changed over there. But at the end of the day, I don't feel that the group was really needed. Not, first of all, you know what? If the group is really, as the school stated, who is the person that wrote this? I just want to know who the person was that wrote this. And if they are definitely a teacher, they should be fired. I mean, how do you put wording together like this for a group? Call yourself an ally yourself, right? And you ain't like proofread this. You ain't running by nobody.
So you think that they're just like trying to cover up the situation, save face?
I think,
Yeah, that's a
course,
good question.
of
Do you
course,
do you
of course.
believe them, or do you think
I
it
don't
was a
believe
mistake?
them. You know, listen.
Okay.
No. What I believe is, I do believe that, I definitely believe in the mission in which